brothers and sisters in Christ. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Today, Wednesday, May 5th. Wednesday of the 5th week of Easter. Already May, the month of Mary, the month of the Rosary. So, encourage all of you to pray the Rosary. If you're not used to do it, it's a good way to start in May. But Mary is our mother. We need to pray for her guidance and an intercession. In particular, we need to pray for peace. Pope Leo wants us to do. Continuing our exploration, so to speak, of the Exalted, the hymn of Easter proclamation, week 5. You see here, week 5. This our section of the hymn. A few verses. And again, it's beautiful, beautiful lyrics, beautiful words. In this section, the hymn kind of has a strange type of structure, in the sense that the statements here and the sentences themselves look a little bit contradictory. So let's take a look at the first sentence of this section. Our birth would have been no gain had we not been redeemed. So, well, basically, if Jesus had not redeemed us, our life would make no sense. Our birth would have been no gain. Why live if Jesus had not come to redeem us? It's a really pretty strong statement. And then it continues, says, further down, to ransom a slave, or charity beyond all telling, to ransom a slave, you gave away your son. Again, you start to see the first contradictions. To ransom a slave, as a slave to sin before Jesus' resurrection, God gave away his son. So would you sacrifice your son to redeem a slave? No, right? But this is what Jesus did. This is what God did in sending us Jesus. And this is what Jesus accomplished by dying for us. And then more so later, truly necessary sin of Adam destroyed completely by the death of Christ. Well, basically the sin of Adam, original sin, was almost necessary in order for Jesus to destroy the sin with his death. Oh, happy fault that earns so great, so glorious a Redeemer. That's a most striking statement, right? Oh, happy fault, Adam and Eve, the sin, Adam and Eve. It's a good one. We're lucky that they sinned, because that sin earned us so great, so glorious a Redeemer. Of course, these statements are a bit provocatory and contradictory, if you wish. They are not saying that it was good that Adam and Eve committed original sin, but first of all, we're emphasizing the power of a resurrection and the glory of a resurrection, the glory of victory of Christ. It's basically what the hymn is saying here is, well, faced with death resurrection of Jesus, faced with fruits of his death resurrection, the fact that Jesus' death resurrection destroyed completely the sin of Adam, the original sin pales in comparison. It looks almost a trivial thing. Also, it's something nice, almost, because Jesus' death resurrection is infinitely more powerful and greater than the sin of Adam and Eve. So the sin of Adam and Eve is nothing. Again, it was destroyed completely by the death of Christ. Also, these statements remind us that we can't fully comprehend the mystery of Jesus' death resurrection. First of all, we cannot fully understand what happened the night. The last verse of this section, truly blessed night, worthy alone to know the time and hour when Christ rose from the underworld. Nobody witnessed the resurrection. You say only the night, so to speak, saw it. So basically nobody knows what happened. We can't fully understand what happened and how it's possible Jesus died and rose from the dead. We will never be able to fully comprehend the magnitude of this mystery of resurrection, but also the relationship between original sin and resurrection of Christ, the scope, so to speak, of God's plan of salvation escapes our capacity to comprehend. Our ability for understanding is limited, and we will never be able to understand why God allowed Adam and Eve to sin in order for Jesus to come and save us. And so, well, also these very beautiful words are an invitation for us to really to look at this mystery of resurrection with joy and humility. Joy because Jesus rose from the underworld. He destroyed death to give us life. But also humility because, well, we will never be able to fully understand why God, why the Father, in order to ransom a slave, gave away his son. It's very humbling and truth, source of joy, but also a reminder that, well, only God knows the rationale, so to speak, of his own plans. Only God holds in his hands the plan of history and its meaning. Take care and God bless. See you soon.